So that's what we'll do today and wrap up. We'll try to find what is the input common mode range and the output range for the OTA that we have designed. Okay. So this is what we have. Let's quickly try to find the input common mode range. So this is input common mode range, ICMR, not Indian Council of Medical Research. So let's say this bias current is I0. So again, I will say that the input here is VICM, because as you know, in negative feedback, these two voltages will be equal, and we are only interested in the common mode. And okay, just to refresh, for an NMOS transistor to be in saturation, what is the condition? VDS must be greater than VGS minus VTH, or I would say VG at the max can be one threshold above the gate, or the minimum the drain can take is one threshold below the gate. I'm just rewriting the same thing. Similarly, for a PMOS transistor, what is the condition? Okay, I will write it this way. Source to drain must be greater than source to gate minus mod VTH. So this will give you drain at the drain has to be smaller than VG plus VTH, or VG must be greater than VD minus mod VTH. I mean, if you remember the conditions for PMOS in a different way, it's completely fine. As long as you don't get confused and you are comfortable with it, please stick to it. Okay, let's now calculate. Let us say now I reduce the ICM. Okay. So do you think the NMOS transistors here can go out of saturation? No, because gate voltage is dropping. It is a good news, because for an NMOS transistor, drain has to be larger. So which transistor can go out of saturation now? Yeah, why? Yeah, remember that the bias currents in this is I0 by 2, I0 by 2. Okay. Now if I keep reducing this gate voltage, what will happen to this voltage? That will reduce, because remember this Vx is the gate voltage minus VGS of M1 or M2 at a current I0 by 2, because the VGS of these transistors is fixed, because the current is fixed. Okay. So I'll remark it here. If I reduce VICM, Vx reduces, so which means M0 can go out of saturation. And I also wrote that Vx is basically VICM minus VGS of M1 or M2 when it is biased at a current of I0 by 2. So what is the minimum value Vx can take? Yeah, it is the VDS. Vx is essentially the VDS. That should be at least VGS minus VTH. So this is VGS minus VTH of M0 at a current of I0. So this quantity VGS minus VTH is often referred to as the overdrive voltage. So this is the overdrive voltage. I'll write it as VOV0 at a current I0. So now we can find out what is minimum VICM. So I know the minimum value of this. I can find the minimum value of this. So that's simply going to be Vx minimum, which is V overdrive 0 at a current I0 plus VGS 1 or 2. Okay. again, you can understand it this way, right? I mean, if I look at the gate voltage here, it is essentially sum of VGS plus VDS, right? The VGS is fixed, only the VDS can change. So the minimum gate voltage is this VGS plus the minimum VDS, which is the overdrive voltage. So that way you can look at it and write directly. But for the first time, we'll do the brute force way. Is this clear? Minimum condition. So then let's do the other condition. Let us say I increase the ICM now. So which transistor can go out of saturation now? Yeah, now the gate voltage is increasing, but the drain voltage is not. So the NMOS transistors can go out of saturation. So let me just remark it here. So M1 and M2 will go out of saturation. So what is the maximum gate voltage can take? It is one threshold above the drain, right? So it is essentially the drain voltage, drain of NMOS plus VTH of M1 or M2. And what is setting the drain voltages here? This drain voltage is essentially the gate voltage of the PMOS transistor. This is the VDD supply minus the source to gate voltage you have for the PMOS transistor. Okay. If I call this source to gate of the PMOS transistor at a current I0 by 2. So the drain voltage is effectively VDD minus source to gate of either M3 or M4 at a current I0 by 2. That is the drain voltage. So gate can go one threshold above this voltage. Okay, so this is the max. This is the minimum. So this is VICM. Is this clear? So this is the minimum and maximum you can have at the input. So then let's calculate the output range, and that should be it for today. So can I move on? Any questions on this? Okay, we'll move on, assuming you understood. So now I'm interested in the output range. So this is the out. This is the total Vout. Okay, I mean. And again, when it is used in negative feedback, I know the voltages at the two inputs are equal, so I'll call it as VICM. So now tell me, if Vout is starting to reduce, which transistor here can go out of saturation? M2, right? Because drain voltage of M2 is reducing, it is M2 that will go out of saturation. So then what is the minimum drain voltage? Minimum voltage the drain of an NMOS transistor can go. It is one threshold below the gate, right? Minimum it can go is one threshold below the gate. So I will directly write it. It is the out minimum. It is the gate voltage. What is the gate voltage here? The ICM minus the threshold voltage of M2. Okay. Now let's actually calculate what is the absolute minimum we can go here, which means I look at the minimum VICM can take, and this range we computed just now. I'll directly copy it. So the minimum we calculated was this fellow. I'll directly paste it. So this is the, again, minimum we can go is the VGS of, or I'll write VGS of this transistor plus overdrive voltage, right? That's what I've written. Overdrive 2 plus, let me write it as VGS2 at a current I0 by 2 minus VTH2. Okay. This is basically this. Now look at this last two terms. Here VGS minus VTH. That is essentially the overdrive voltage of M2 at a current I0 by 2. So this you can further simplify it as V overdrive 0 at a current I0 plus V overdrive of M2 at a current I0 by 2. So you can think about it this way. So ideally, what would you like V out to go to? I mean, what would you like to be the minimum value of V out? No, ideally, what would you want the minimum value of V out to be? 0. But it cannot go to 0 because you have to keep 2 transistors in saturation, which means I need to spend a drain to source voltage of M2 and a drain to source voltage of M0. So the minimum drain to source voltage of M2 is overdrive of M2. Minimum drain to source voltage of M0 is overdrive of M0. But one important point to note is V out reaching this minimum is conditional upon the fact that I use the minimum voltage for VICM. Okay. If I go and use the minimum voltage I can have for VICM, which is this, only then my V out can reach this minimum, right? If my VICM or some other voltage, then it is just this. Okay. So it is not as though universally it is true. This is conditional on the fact that you use an appropriate voltage for VICM. So please have that in mind. Great. So then let's do the upper limit. So here let us say I keep increasing V out. Okay. So if V out keeps increasing, which transistor can go out of saturation? Yeah, M4, because if the drain voltage increases, PMOS transistor will not be happy. So I'll say M4 goes out of saturation. So what is the maximum the drain voltage of a PMOS transistor can go? It is one threshold above the gate. Okay, so it is the gate voltage of M4 plus mod VTH4. Right? And this is what I call as VG4. And what is the gate voltage here? It is VDD minus the same VSG of M3 or M4. So I'll write it like this: VDD minus VSG of M4 at a current I0 by 2 plus mod VTH4. So once again you see this term, you have VSG minus VTH, negative version of it, that once again I'll call as the overdrive voltage. So it is VDD minus the overdrive voltage of M4 at a current of I0 by 2. Okay. So again you can directly find the maximum output this way. So let's argue the same way as did for minimum, right? So what would you want the maximum V out to be ideally? You want this to go as high as VDD, but you can't do because you need to spend the VDS or VSD for this PMOS transistor. So it is VDD minus VSD. So the minimum voltage you can drop is 1 overdrive voltage. So now we can clearly see, right, at the maximum I am off only by 1 overdrive voltage, but at the lower end I need to have 2 overdrive voltages. Okay, so this is not a great thing. So in general, if you want to have the maximum swings, it is desirable to have one NMOS and one PMOS and one NMOS. That's it. So here you have 2 NMOSes, so that way you are kind of limited. Great. Is this clear? So yes. Sorry. Oh, what I'm saying is you are losing, right? I mean, you cannot go as low as 0, which means you need to spend 2 overdrive voltages. So the minimum is limited. That's what I meant. So hopefully this idea of why the input common mode range and the output range is important in op-amp is clear. Okay, so now just one last point. I will give it as an exercise for you to work out. See, although we have made an OTA, Yeah, this fellow is an OTA, right? Now, if you want to make an op amp, one simple thing you can do is put a voltage buffer. And how do you make a voltage buffer? Common drain. Can use a common drain and actually do this, and overall this will be a VCVS, right? Because now the output resistance is smaller. This is good, but typically there are few reasons why we avoid having a common drain stage or a voltage buffer stage on chip. Okay, so we'll see it later, but one reason we'll discuss now. So because of those reasons, we generally avoid this. Wherever we have op amps on chip, it is almost always a VCCS and OTA. We just like close our eyes blindly and say that is an op amp, although it is an OTA. Okay. So one reason why this having a common drain stage at the end is not so great is because of this. Again, this I will give it as an exercise for you to work. So let us say I have this. So now I want to follow it up with a common common drain stage. I have this, and let us say I have a current some I2. This is here. So please try to find out what is the maximum and minimum Vout you can have. And same with VICM. Okay. So you take as an exercise and calculate this. So then you will understand, once you have this result, it's like one thing is to just calculate, right? But if you want to, be better, you try to compare this result with what you got for only the OTA. So then you compare the two, then you will understand one reason why this is not great. There are other reasons that we will see later in the course. But just want to highlight that on chip, whenever we say it's an op amp, it is always an OTA most of the time. So this is what we will use. Okay. So I'll stop here. Please take it as an exercise and work out. So I will not discuss the result. It is up to you for you to. It is up to you to work out and understand. Right. If you have doubts, you can get back to me.